everyone. Let's learn the understanding and control of Scarabs pests. Let's first get to know a concept. What is underground pests? Underground pests refer to the pests that live in the soil and damage the underground part of tea trees or the buds near the ground. They are also called soil pests and have many kinds. They occur all over China. The common underground pests in tea gardens mainly include grubs, beetle larvae, and large crickets, black-winged soil termites. In this lesson, we will mainly learn about the Scarabs pests. We will learn from 5 aspects about the Scarabs pests. First, we will learn about the occurrence and main characteristics of Scarabs pests. The scarab is the general name of insects of the Coleoptera scarab superfamily, also known as the scarab, and its larva is called milking wax, which is one of the main underground pests. The larva bites off the root system and injures the 12-year-old tea seedlings, causing the seedlings wither and dead. Bite off the tender stem, causing the lack of seedlings in tea garden. Adults feeding on cropped leaves into notch hole. When serious, whole leaf will be eaten up. The common tea garden scarabs mainly include Anomala corpulenta, also known as Anomala corpulenta matholski, Popillia mutans Newman, Holotrichia oblita falderman, also as Holotrichia diemphalia Bates, Holotrichia oblita Coleoptera melolonthidae, Atenus spratulus or velvet mocholski, Serica orientalis mocholski, Coleoptera melolonthidae. The beetle shell is mostly medium and large. The body is oval. The antennae are gill-shaped. The terminal 3 to 5 segments are expanded and flattened. It can close and open freely. The sheath wing is not completely covered with abdomen, mostly with metallic luster. The tibia of the forefoot is flat and broad-toothed, suitable for digging. Larvae is a wax squeezing type. The body is white to yellow. The abdominal end is white. The anus is horizontal, and the number and arrangement of the anterior anal hairs are the important basis for the classification of the larvae. The beetles that harm the tea tree are mostly active at night, have a strong phototaxis. Then we understand the morphological characteristics of the beetles, which are common in 3 kinds of tea gardens. 1. Anomala corpulenta. The eggs of Anomala corpulenta are white and oval, 1.7 to 1.9 millimeters long. The larvae are 29 to 33 millimeters long. The body is milky white. The anus is in a shape of quotation, cross fissure. There are many bristles scattered in front of them. There are 2 rows of bristles in the center, 14 to 15 pairs, neatly arranged. The pupa is 18 to 21 millimeters long, and the ventral end is round with fine hairs. The adult body is 17 to 21 millimeters long, 8 to 10 millimeters wide, copper green and bronze colored, has metallic luster. The morphological characteristics of the Anomala corpulenta: the lateral edge of the forechest dorsal plate is yellow, slightly curved. The sheath wing is confluent. The 3 longitudinal lines on the sheath wing are not very high. The outer edge of the tibial segment of the forefoot has 2 teeth. The inner margin is well developed, and the size of the front and middle foot is different, in which the end of the big claw is forked. The hind foot is not bifurcated. 2. Holotrichia oblita falderman. The eggs of Holotrichia oblita falderman are milky white and oval, slightly glossy, 2.5 millimeters long. The larva is about 35 millimeters long. The anus is 3-cleft. It opens in the ventral side of the last segment. Its anterior setae is scattered, accounting for about 2/3 of the end of the distal abdomen. Pupa length 20 millimeters. There is a pair of protuberances at the ventral end. The adult is 16 to 21 millimeters long, 8 to 11 millimeters wide, black to dark brown and glossy. The morphological characteristics of the Holotrichia oblita falderman: the width of the forechestal dorsal plate is about 2 times the length of the forechest. The length of the sheath wing is about 2 times the width of the forechest. The engraving points are scattered on it. There are 3 longitudinal eminence lines on each sheath wing. Third is the weakest. The inner edge of the tibia of the forefoot is opposite to the middle tooth. The tarsus of the hindfoot is shorter than the second. 3. Ateneus spretulus. The eggs of Ateneus spretulus are milky white and oval, glossy, 1.1 millimeters long. The larva is 16 to 20 millimeters long. The anus is straight. There is an arc of transverse bristles in front, flat, thick, and short, about 20 bristles. 2 posterior horns have a pair of fleshy protuberances extending to the back. The adult is 8 to 10 millimeters long, 5 to 8 millimeters wide, dark brown and shiny. The morphological characteristics of the Ateneus spretulus: the width of the pronotum is twice as long. The leading edge is slightly narrow and the sphingomyelin wings are short, with 10 lines of scribing points each, 2 teeth on the outer edge of tibial segment of forefoot. The posterior tibial segment is narrow and thick, with 1 end distance on each side of the end. Then we will learn the occurrence rules and habits of 3 kinds of common tea garden scarabs. The 3 kinds of scarabs occur 1 generation per year in all places, overwinter in the soil as larvae or adults, among which Anomala corpulenta overwinter as larvae. The time of pupation and emergence is different in all places. May to July is the peak season of adults generally. The adults lurk in the taxi of the daytime, move out of the soil after dusk, copulate and feed at night, and then fly back to the soil to hide at dawn on the emerald green day. The eggs are phototactic and pseudo-lethal. They are laid in the soil. The third instar larvae live in the soil for the whole life. Bite the crop phases. The duration of each insect state, 7 to 11 days in egg stage. The larval stage is more than 300 days. The pupa stage is 5 to 20 days, and the adult stage is more than 30 days. Next, we will learn the relationship between occurrence and environmental conditions of the Scarabs pests. The outbreak mostly occurs in the relatively humid and loose soil, with rich organic matter. The trove is more sensitive to humidity changes. When the water content of the topsoil is greater than 20% or less than 10%, it can cause avoidable migration of that squeezed trove and remarkably reduce the survival rate of the hatching rate of the larva. As for the soil quality, clay loam is where it occurs more. Sandy soil is second, clay is less. The seasonal change of soil temperature obviously influences the ascending, descent, and feeding activities of wax in the soil. In winter, the surface soil temperature is low. Wax extrusion moves to the depths of 20 centimeters to overwinter. In spring, when the soil layer is 10 centimeters and the temperature is more than 15 degrees Celsius, it rises to the surface soil layer activity, when the latent soil is shallower in spring and autumn of a year. They bite the root of the tea seedlings. In addition, there are host plants near the tea garden that the adults like to eat, which is beneficial for the adults to dive into the soil nearby to lay eggs. The iceland is the base for many kinds of scarab. Reclaiming it and growing tea will harm tea seedlings. We will finally learn about the prevention and control methods of Scarabs pests. The prevention and control method of Scarabs pests mainly include the following 4 methods. The first one is to cultivate tea through agricultural prevention and control in combination with land plowing, picking up and removing grubs. The second one is artificial killing adults in the peak period, using artificial death, shaking down and killing them. In nurseries and young tea gardens with high occurrence of grubs, we should combine farming and picking up grubs, or stock chickens and ducks for pecking. The third method is trapping and killing adults in the peak period by carrying out light or fire trapping and planting castor beans around the tea garden. To trap and kill the adults, generally the castor beans should be properly planted early. According to the test in Shuozhou City of Daixing, Shanxi Province, it is advisable for castor seedlings to grow 2 to 3 leaves. when the adult is in its peak period. The fourth method, chemical control, can be used to control wax squeezing by means of seed dressing, spraying poisonous soil, pouring liquid, and so on. In the adult stage, pesticide can be used. Combined with soil preparation and spreading poisonous soil, the pesticide can be diluted with a small amount of water and then mixed with fine soil for application. In combination with fertilizer application, the pesticide can be mixed with cake-breaking fertilizer, brain drum, etc. to make poison bait, then ditch and apply into the rhizosphere soil to poison the wax extrusion. When the seedlings are injured, irrigate plants with chemicals mixed with water. These are the main contents of this lesson. Thank you for listening.